So it's been a minute since I've been in front of this camera. And when I say a minute, y'all, I mean a minute. Like, and I'm very nervous. I don't even know what to say. I don't know where to start. It's been so much going on. I feel like I've reset myself so many times, and I've had this video so many times in my life that it's just like, girl, we get it. Like, are you gonna get it together or not? But there's been a lot of stuff happening in my life. God has been showing me a lot of him, and some which I understand. I'm like, oh yeah, that's God. And some which I'm like, there's no way this can be you. And there's some where I'm just like, where you at? So throughout that journey, it's brought a lot of different emotions, like sadness, frustration, confusion is the most important one. Some joy, some happiness, tears, a whole plethora of emotions have been going on, like in my head, in my space, in my environment. And it's made it so hard for me to get on camera with y'all, because y'all know I like to be humble. I like to be transparent. I like to be open and transparent and let you guys know exactly what I'm going through. And that has been hard because I didn't even know how to put what I was going through in words, right? So it was just like, I was just feeling all these emotions, feeling the process, not understanding how to articulate the process. So I'm now at a time where I'm just like, Ayana, whether you have it or not, you gotta get back in front of this camera, you know, and I just, child. First thing that I want to discuss, because I'm trying to see if I can make it through the video without crying, okay? I'm just trying to see. For quite some time. My emotions have been all over the place. My mind has been like, I felt like I had some type of disorder, schizophrenia or something like that, because I would hear different voices in my head. And this was the first season that I experienced something like that. Usually I can decipher between God, myself, and the enemy. But it was something about this particular season that I'm going through, and I'm still going through, that kind of made me realize, like, you got to be careful. Because before, I think I was just walking. Oh, God got me, which he still does. That's not what I'm saying. But I was walking blindly, not paying attention, not really taking hold of the things that God was trying to show me or trying to get me to gather on my journey. So I'm just walking with a backpack, like, and it wasn't until something forced me into it that I picked up a tool and put it in my book bag. It wasn't like I was just walking and cautiously looking where I am and looking at my environment like, oh, I need that. Let me grab that tool. Oh, I need that. I wasn't doing that. So in real life, I was having dreams constantly about me being in a school, like whether it's a university or a school with little kids or just some type of big, huge school. And I was always running through the school, not paying any freaking attention, just running through the school. And I never understood. I'm like, why am I having these dreams like this? Looking back, I can now say that those dreams were about me in my waking life. I was running through lessons, not paying attention to what I was actually supposed to be paying attention to, but I was able to pass with at least a passing grade, a C, maybe even a B minus. But God told me, then God didn't tell me that. God basically, I feel like, implied you need to get an A. So I'm gonna keep running you through the same experiences. You're gonna run into the same people, different body, same spirit. You're gonna run into the same thing over and over until you stop and say, what is this pattern that I'm going through? What is this cycle that I continuously hit? I'm hitting a brick wall time after time. It would be like, I would meet people, everything would start good, and then boom, it would go wrong. I would do something, everything would start good, boom, it would go wrong. And it felt like I got the same feeling. And after a while, getting the same feeling, you get numb. But that doesn't mean that the feeling isn't there. It doesn't mean that you don't feel the feeling. You're just numb to the feeling because you don't felt it so many times. So I found myself in this continuous cycle, and I'm like, what is going on? And it brought a sense of harshness, because I don't like to say depression. So it brought a sense of harshness on my reality, and it captured my creativity. I wasn't able to think on my own. I felt like I wasn't able to function on my own. Like, I felt like a shell. And I was like, God, how can I be a shell if I'm trying to be your vessel? He said, that's just it. Because you're trying to actively be my vessel, you become a target for attack of spiritual warfare. Me being a green bean, I'm like, spiritual warfare, child, please. Enemy can't do nothing with me. Like, you've been telling me you're walking with me for I don't know how long. I'm good, I'm straight. I'm not worried about no spiritual warfare. But I didn't understand the levels and the dimensions of spiritual warfare. So I, again, walking blindly, like, oh, child, God got me. And God's like, I'm walking behind you. I'm pushing things out of your way. But you have to actively work with me in order to really go throughout this journey. Right now, I'm carrying you. There's going to be a season in your life where I stop carrying you and I make you walk. And that's the season that I'm in now. Walking should be easy. Walking is something that I do every day. Walking is something that I learned when I was a young child. When I was a baby, I was trying to walk before it was time. My mom was like, oh, child, she'd act like she hadn't been here before, because I was so eager to get up and go. But now that God is telling me to get up and go, I'm reverting back into a child, to where it's like, no, carry me. And so in 2017 is when I really feel like my journey really started. 2020 is when I feel like my journey came to its peak, where the storm really came. I remember I had a dream one night about me being in a storm, and I wasn't in the storm. I was watching the storm from my house, from my window, and the storm, y'all, was treacherous. Like, it was crazy out there. In real life, I probably would have like urinated on myself or something. I don't know. It was crazy out there. Things were getting picked up in this tornado, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh my goodness. All of a sudden, y'all, I go from inside the house watching to outside. Now I'm outside the house. I'm in the storm, literally right by the tornado head where it's spinning, and I'm looking like, oh my goodness. Everything around me is getting picked up, but I'm not. Then I was magically back in the house, dry, no water, not drenched, nothing. Looking like, what is going on? And I think that was a dream where God was letting me know, you're about to go through this season that's going to be so tough on you. You're going to feel like I'm not there at times. You're going to feel like you're just in the middle of this chaotic environment, this chaotic situation. But when you get out of it, I promise you, you will not look like what you've been through. Let me tell you something about me that God has been working on me with. My mental is all kind of messed up, and I'm okay to say it. I've been in survival mode for so long, all I know how to do is survive. You might say, oh, that's good. That means anything that's on your way, you're going to be able to knock it down. Yes, but I'm knocking it down out of survival. Surviving is out of fear. You're surviving because you're scared. You have to do everything that you have to do. You have to go hard because you're scared. And I feel like God is trying to move me from survival to thriving. He asked me one day, he said, are you ready to reach limits that you've never seen? Go to heights, see things that you never thought was possible. Are you ready for miracles in your life? I'm like, heck yeah. I didn't know what I was signing up for. So I'm going through this season, y'all. And God had been telling me to get back on this camera. And it's hard for me to get on the camera because I pride myself on being real. So I can't sit in front of you and tell you, oh, y'all, God is so good. Y'all, God gonna see it through. Girl, don't even worry about it. You gonna hear him. You gonna do. And I wasn't experiencing that myself. I felt like I didn't hear God. I felt like I couldn't see God. I felt like he wasn't there. So I couldn't find myself getting on this camera and faking it with you and telling you that you're gonna be able to see him at all avenues, all seasons of your life, because I didn't even, you know? I can't tell you you're going to be connected with God and you need to get connected with God if I didn't feel connected with God. So I was battling with God, like, this is really hard for me. It's really hard for me. So what I decided was this. It was hard for me because I felt like I was trying to give you the imperfect, perfect version. I was trying to be real, but I was diluting my realness because I didn't want you to see the crying Yana. Because who wants to cry? on camera, okay? I didn't want you to see the frustrated. Like, I wanted you to see the polished Yana, the finished result. But God's like, no, the journey is the most important part, not the finished product. Making the cake is better than actually looking at the cake, because you're looking at your hard work. If you skip the making the cake, you're just looking at a cake like, how did this cake get here? What are the ingredients of the cake? What does it taste like? Like, we would have so many questions for the cake that you would just look at the cake like, I don't know if I want this because I don't know where it came from. I don't know. But if you took your hard time working on the cake, you built the cake, you made the cake yourself, when you look at it, it's going to be a different sense of accomplishment. You're going to be like, wow, I did that, you know? And now I want to eat this and I want to spread it to everybody else so that they can experience what I've experienced. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I've always been. So it's like, now I'm just trying to give you the process. I'm vowing to give you the process. So right now, from the seat that I'm sitting in, me and God are, we're in a squabble. I look at God as my dad right now. I'm a little upset with my dad, honestly. I'm a little frustrated. I'm a little confused and exactly what my dad is trying to tell me to do and how he's trying to tell me to do it. There's so many different distractions and things going on outside of what he's trying to tell me to do that I can't even see or hear. So me and him are really in a season where it's like you walk me into something and it feels like you left me there. And you left me there to fight. And all I hear, I'm in this dark room and I'm fighting, I'm swinging. And all I hear you say is, keep swinging. Why aren't you telling me where the front door is? Why aren't you telling me where the exit is? Why are you telling me to keep fighting? And why can't I see you? Why aren't you here fighting with me? So right now, me and God are I'm in a season with God where it's just like, I want to know you, and in order for me to know you, there's going to be things that I don't understand. And I'm trying to wrap my mind around control. God's trying to destroy my control addiction over my own life and trying to be the pilot over my life. He's trying to destroy that, all while trying to build me up and restore my soul at the same time. That can get a little shaky, y'all. That can get a little worrisome. That can get a little blurry, you know? Everything isn't always peaches and cream, and that's what I think the church doesn't talk about. You're not always going to be happy with God. You're not always happy with your own mom, your earthly mom. She loves you to death, but or your earthly father, or whoever you have that's a guardian over you, that you love and care for. They may not always say something that you like, may not always tell you to go somewhere or do something that you like. Okay, I understand. There's sometimes you're like, I don't get that, Mom. Why do I have to go there? It doesn't even make sense. Or you're just like, Mom, why you told me I can't have that? Literally, I've had it before. And it was fine the first time. Why can't I have it again? Or why are you telling me, you told me to go to the store, that they were going to have what I needed. And I got there and they didn't have what I thought you said I needed. But then your mom's like, they have something else though that you're going to need, you know? So it's like, if you have to experience that in your earthly relationships, I feel like God is an example of what your earthly relationships are going to be like. People are an example of God. We're made in his image. So just as your mom upsets you sometimes and frustrates you sometimes because you don't know, not because she doesn't care, or not because she's trying to lead you down a path of destruction, just because you don't know. You have a lack of knowledge. You're ignorant to the subject at the time. Ignorance does not always equate to negativity. Ignorance is only the fact that you do not know. You don't know something until you do. You can't be responsible for something that you don't know until you know it, you know? So it's just like, I didn't know that about God. I thought every season with God was going to be good. I was always going to know what to do. He was always going to lead me. There was always going to be good things. I knew God was always in control. Nobody can trump God. So this season that I'm going through me, because I'm like, it looks like the enemy is reigning in this season. What are you doing? Where you at? Where are your antennas when I'm getting behind me, you know? And so it reminded me of the story of Job, where the enemy and God kind of had this discussion, and God basically was like, the enemy was this, I'm gonna give you see in the hood term, okay, basically, right? Boom. So you got this guy named Job, right? Job is this top stand-up guy, okay? Genuine, cool, down to earth, you know, whatever you need, Job got you. Job was just nice. He was cool, put together, nice. He had a lot of stuff. He had a lot of money, a lot of cattle, like, you know, animals, things like that. So God and the devil talking one day, right? And devil like, I bet you I can make your man fold. I bet you I can make your man fold. Because the only reason why he loves you is because you're giving him everything. You're just showering him with all these blessings. That's the only reason why he mess with you for real. But if you let me, I'll show you how he gonna really fool with you for real, and he gonna fold under pressure. God's like, not my Job. I know for a fact he ain't gonna fold because I built him different. So go ahead, whatever you got, go ahead. But let me say something what you can't touch. You can't touch him. That's what you can't touch. Okay, so the enemy like, all right, bet. I ain't got to touch him to make him fold. That's not a problem. Say less, right? So the enemy goes out there. He does all kind of stuff. By the end of the story, he's taking every single thing from Job. So Job is in the middle of a storm like, God, what is going on? I've been serving you. I've been following you. I never spoke down on your name. I never denied you. Like, what's up with you? We beefing? Like, we into it? You know what I'm saying? So are we into it? And so God's like, and it's like in the story, God's not really acknowledging Job. Like, he's like listening to Job cry, but he's not really saying nothing. So Job like, where you at? Like, boost, where you at? You know? And he's really going through it. And the enemy was like, okay, he ain't fold yet. God, let me do something else. Let me take his kids. Let me take his wife. Let me take people. I'm taking things, but now let me take people. God's like, you can touch whatever, but you ain't gonna touch him. Bet. Enemy said, bet. He gonna fold. He took everything from him. By just the shock of the whole story is at the end of him taking everything from Job. Job probably said that. If it was me, I would have sat there and been like, which I am. And I feel like Job in the season because I sit here and I'm like, on Monday, I'm like, God, I'm so mad at you. Like, how could you do this to me? How could you let this happen to me? How could you let me look stupid in front of these people? I told these people this, or I said this out my mouth. I look stupid. How could you let me do this? How could you let me say this? You led me here. Why would you leave me to dry? Like, why would you do this to me? I'm so upset. And on Tuesday, Job was like, but you know what? I trust you. Though you slay me, yeah, I will trust you. I know you still, you're the God that gave me all this stuff. So I know you're the God that can return it back to me. I trust you. I love you. And it's okay. If these things had to go, it's okay. God probably was looking at the enemy like, yeah, who was going to fold? So, and God ended up restoring everything Job lost times 10. Because that's the type of God we serve. So I feel like maybe in this season, I'm in my Job era. I'm in my, like, I'm trying to see if you built different. I'm trying to see if what I instilled in you, you will be able to pull out when it's necessary. It's not that I'm trying to hurt you. It's not that I'm trying to punish you. I'm building your character. While the enemy is trying to use what he's trying to use to hurt you, to destroy you, to put you in depression, I'm going to flip all that right at the end, right before the race is over, you know, right before the curtains close. And y'all thinking the show over, baby, I'm going to come in here and flip this thing around. And when I flip it around, you're going to know it was me. And I think that's why God waits till the last minute, because it's like you are all out of options. So when I come in there and you're going to be like, oh, that was God. That was nothing but God. And I'm not only going to flip it around, I'm going to flip it around, return it, and I'm going to add tax to it. Because I'm built different. You know, talking about God. Because he built different. So it's just like, maybe I am going through this Job area and it don't feel good. And I want to show y'all what Job felt like. I want to show y'all what the people in the Bible, they had to, we look at what people have, the glam and the glitz. We don't look at the gutter. They travel through the gutter to get to the glam. So I'm not going to show you the glam. I'm finna show you the gutter. So when we get to the glam, because you're coming with me. So when we get to the glam, you're going to understand. We all going to appreciate the gutter. Because everybody got their own gutter. It's tailored specifically to you. So now I'm going to embrace my Job era. And I'm going to get out this slump. And I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to get back to my Father's business, understanding now from a different position, from a higher seat. Spiritual warfare is a thing. And it will come after you behind in a way that you never seen. And God told me the enemy's coming after you different because he know the usual way, he can't touch you in that area because you've grown. So now he's trying to hit you on another level. Don't let him win. And I'm not going to. So Job era is going down. I'm getting things, and I feel like I'm coming out of my Job era. I wish I would have really got this in the middle, like in a real big heat of the storm, so y'all would have really seen, but y'all, I couldn't go a day without crying, so that's, whew. So now I feel like I'm still in my Job, but I'm at the end, where I'm just like, God, whatever you want to do. Just like Job said, like, I lost everything, but let your will be done. Whatever you're trying to do, I love you and appreciate you still, because I don't even have to, I wouldn't have to, I shouldn't be here. There's situations where the enemy been tried to get me up out of here, but I'm still here for a reason, So I appreciate that, and I'm gonna just ride this wave, hold on to this roller coaster, and breathe. And so I'm gonna see y'all on the other side. But we finna we're going to embrace this Job era. If you're going through your Job era, it is what it is, baby. Let's just do it together. Get it over with. Because you know, if you're going through this, you know at the end of the end of the story. God's gonna return it all times 10. And you don't know what times 10 is. You know what I'm saying? God is big. His time 10 could be something you ain't never seen before. So just hold on and let's just see where this goes. See where God takes us. Let's not give up right before we get there. So that was it. In our Job era, we're gonna embrace it, baby. We're just gonna embrace it. But yeah, it's your girl YanaSamayria, aka MsRealSpill. I'm out of here. I cannot wait to see y'all next time. And we really gonna get into it next time. This is the intro, but we really gonna get into all the stuff that's been happening to me, okay? Between jobs, relationships. Child, I don't even know how I still got hair. I should be slap crazy, but that's how you know God's grace is sufficient. So it is what it is. I'm still standing. I don't look like what I've been through. I don't smell like stress. So we're just gonna go ahead and get it popping. I'm actually on my way to a job, open house, like interview type thing. Cause you know, God is still working in the middle of the enemy trying to wreak havoc. God is like, don't even worry about that, baby. Don't even worry about that puny man. We're gonna get him together in due time. I gotta let him think that he on his big one. I gotta let him think he on one. You know what I'm saying? So when I come, I can show him what a real big one look like. Okay. So yeah, that's it. I love y'all. Bye.